Alright, yeah, oh yeah, we'll go like that. There we go. I think that'll work. Good enough. Yeah, that works good enough. So, I'm just doing this video for the fuck of it. It's just more nothing, more bullshit. Which is fine with me, I don't know. But I gotta do some organizing of my storyboard. I think what I'm gonna do is break it off into playlists. So I might even change the name of my channel to the storyboard. Yeah, the storyboard. And then I'm gonna have the playlist broken off into the event, and then the pre-event and the post-event. So it's gonna have at least those. Damn it, fucking bullshit, man. And then I'm gonna probably need to, you know, do some more like playlists. Fuck, man, my fucking phone was not. That's good enough. Damn, man. Yeah, so I'm gonna have the event as a playlist, then the pre-event as a playlist, and the post-event as a playlist. But then, you know, when I start going into what a magic circle is, and then the Todd Mahdi death cult, and all that stuff, I think I might have to do maybe I'll have like a playlist called Dot Connecting or something that kind of represents the, you know, the red yarn and the pins that attach one thing to another on a storyboard, like a storyboard, you know, that investigators where they'll have a photograph of somebody and then they'll have a piece of red yarn and string it over to here and there. And yeah, I might have a like a, I don't know, playlist called Connections or something. Because yeah, so like the event, I left out a lot of stuff, or not a lot, but there's so many details. You know, there's so many details. It's hard to know what details. Like I've left some details out of the event, and then when I go into like the post event, then I'm starting to explain something that happened, and it relates to that detail that I left out of the pre-event. So it's all that bullshit, and and so I've gone way outside the conventional format that I set up, you know, which is important, you know. The conventional format is just the event, the pre-event, and the post-event. But it's so conventional, it's hard to stay within those guidelines. And then that's also how I end up missing details. And so then, you know, like if I miss some details that I don't realize are important, and then I get to the post-event and I start talking about something, but it relates to that detail I left out of the event itself. So it's just a big clusterfuck. And that's one of the reasons why I've just kind of gone off. Like I drove out to the magic circle, and you know, did videos kind of explaining what a magic circle is. And then I started having revelations about the Todd Mahdi death cult and go into that. And then I went off on this kick about, because I really wanted to get into, the witch, like the witch, her being a witch and everything else, and then all this other stuff, like, just everything. It's everything. It's all of this. So, but I've veered so far off of the my my conventional format that I've got to reel back in. And so that's another thing I've got to like look at, because I thought I uploaded like part 1 of the post event. I've, based off what I could see, I did a general overview of the event and a general overview of the pre-event. And I thought I already started the general overview of the post event, but when I was just looking at it, it looks like I didn't upload. I thought I uploaded part 1, and I didn't. I don't think I did. So, I gotta go and organize the storyboard, but I'm gonna put it into sections. The event, the pre-event, and the post-event. Those are gonna be the playlists. And then maybe the other I have to try to keep it as simple as possible. The other playlists I think will be like miscellaneous details or something. Miscellaneous details or left out. I don't know. I gotta figure it out. It's starting to get pretty messy though. But that's what storyboards are. They're a big mess. That's what it is. I think a lot of storyboarding has to do with organizing the board, getting the shit on the board and then organizing it to make sense of it. So I'm gonna have to start doing that before I, that's gonna be part of the process of going into the post event. But the post event is like where I found out over, because the event happened 2 years ago. And then like a year later, I'm talking to somebody, or 9 months later, I'm talking to somebody who has all this information about it and is telling me that like everything that I'm saying is true. They did kill him. There is it's like a cult. And they describe it as kind of more like a gang. And there's and they're recruiting young girls like my ex's age, and then they recruit these girls, and then they put them in compromising positions where they have what it is that they have them participate in like beating someone up, and so these girls are like are fucking people up, or they're participating in it. That way they can't. That way they prove their loyalty to this network, this criminal network that's here. And so this criminal network it's all real. This is all real. Somebody else was telling me this, and that they're recruiting these girls like my ex, and then they're getting them to participate in violence so that the girls will prove their loyalty, and then also then they won't be able to snitch or anything, because they are actually participating in the violence themselves, so they can't snitch the leaders of this network out, and then they can't escape. And this person that was telling me this said that one of these girls approached them, and because the girl was trying to escape and approached this person that told me this and described the whole thing, and And the person that told me this refused to help him. Said, nope, I'm not getting involved because, you know, they don't want to be the next person that's found dead out in the desert and shit, you know. But this person confided in me and told me this and asked to remain anonymous. So these are things that happened in the post event, like that. You know, just there are details like that came out after the event, in the post event and stuff, and that they had killed somebody else besides Todd Minshaw, a young Mexican guy, and that's part of the post event, because, you know, there's just a lot of shit, and I'm not sure how much to leave in and how much to leave out, which is why it's important to just be thorough. Because if I leave stuff out, it could be, you know, important. And so there's going to be things that are going to seem like trivial details. And I wasn't thorough enough with the event or the pre-event. I left shit out. And yeah, by leaving it out, it's like now I have to go back and explain those things in order to explain the post event, and I didn't realize all this. And again, this is all the whole storyboard process. This is what happens, and this is why everything has to be like thorough. What to leave in, what to leave out. Fuck, I don't know. But anyways, so that's what I'm doing, and I'm not really stoked about doing it, you know. That's why I've been doing these videos on the shadow integration. I mean, a lot of that is really relatable to the story. It truly is. It's like all part of it. But those things are more entertaining for me to talk about. You know, to go over the grueling story of all the different details in the pre-event, the event, and the post-event is kind of like, you know, it's not easy, man. And, you know, it's not going to be entertaining. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'll never know until I do it. But, you know, like, the point isn't so much about being entertaining. The only thing is, in a case like this, it does require an audience and input at some point. But the only way to get an audience is to be able to present it to them. And the storyboard isn't really necessarily the way to present it. But I mean, it might be interesting for people to follow along. I don't know. But yeah, if I really want an audience, I got to figure all this out and then present it. And the only reason I want an audience is so that I can get input. So it ain't just me. And then people can look at it and say, and then tell me what they think, you know. And if I present it as objective as possible and just present the facts, and so that allows a person to make up their own mind rather than leading them in the direction that I want them to. Leading them into the conclusion I'm intending for them, then it's not going to have the effect that I want, you know. But at the same time, the things that I have to be really I have to be really good at portraying, illustrating these things in order to get, you know, the effect. So it's really kind of like, oh man, it's not fun to do. So anyway, whatever.